Good evening and welcome to the Room of Requirement. For those of you who are familiar with the Room of Requirement, the way this works is over on Google+. I open the room, it's a closed circle. Anybody who wants in can be in. Anybody who doesn't want in, it saves their stream from being eaten by my replies. I make a post saying that the room is open and people ask me questions. Normally I have answered these questions in text by writing posts answering them. Tonight I have decided to do a video entry or several video entries to answer questions as they come in and get a whole bunch of them put out at once, so that way there's something interesting for you to see and I'm not making a million posts in everybody's stream, just 500,000 posts. So let's jump right into it. The first question that I have tonight is from Amy Buersdorf, who asks me, what's a fuck nugget? It's a nugget of fuck. I mean, what else could it be? You know, little nugget. Just a little one. But there's fuck in it. James Cronin asks, when did you start using the moniker Bliss? This is fun. This is a question that comes up pretty much every time that I do the Room of Requirement. It also came up a couple of times early on when I was doing a lot of public hangouts. I started using the moniker of Bliss while I was in college. My freshman year of college, there was a whole group of us that always tended to go to one person's apartment for parties on the weekends. And there were, other people that would sort of float in and out of these parties from time to time, and, they'd show up and we'd say, hey, welcome back, and have a good time. But there was a pretty core group of us that would show up at these parties every weekend, or pretty much, every weekend. And there was one particular time where, people were in their cups and holding on to their blades of grass to prove that they were still attached to the world. And somebody came up with the really kind of cool idea that we should make a tarot for the regular attendees of the apartment. Gentleman whose apartment it was, his name became the name of the tarot. And we decided that all of the major arcana would consist of people who regularly were there at his apartment for these parties. One person was given the name Fetch because he was always made to go get things for other people. Somebody decided that I should be called Bliss because the way that I rolled at the parties was I tried to make sure that everybody had a drink, that it was something that they liked, that nobody was drinking too much, that if they did drink too much, then at least they would have me there to hold back their hair. And because it was college and I was involved with theater people and SCA people, there was often a lot of hair on both guys and girls to be holding back. So they decided that I should be called Bliss, that if we ever made a card, that would be mine, because I make everybody happy. And it just kind of stuck. I got really attached to it, and I answer to Bliss pretty much everywhere on the internet and even out in meet space. I have been in crowds and people have said my given name and I have not even blinked, and then they say Bliss and my head whips around. So that's where it started. It started my freshman year of college. I'm probably going to pronounce your name wrong and I apologize in advance. I'm not sure if it's Neil or Nile Cook, who asks, "Oh, Oracle of Requirement, why does so much fun exist within a space which does not exist?" Oh, Neil or Nile, whichever it is, and you will have to tell me. You're asking an impossible question. If something exists, then it exists. If something does not exist, it does not exist. The two don't cross over. The very definition of existence, if you go check it out on Wikipedia, is, in common usage, it's the world we are aware of through our senses and that persists independently of us. You can also just define it as everything that is. So basically, if something is fun, then ipso facto, it exists. And you can't say that it doesn't exist, because it has to exist in order to be fun. Something can't be fun if it doesn't exist. Deb Party asks, what is your real name? This brings me to a big long rant about what consists of real in terms of names. I was actually talking to somebody about this morning, about whether I thought names had an effect on how we act, react, and interact with other people in social media, in social media networks online. And I said, yes, absolutely. My given name is very different from Bliss. I operate almost exclusively as Bliss online because it is the impression that I want to make on the world. It's the difference that I want to make in the world. I want to make it a better place. It's also the attitude that I strive to always hold within myself. Um, it's not the name on my legal documents, but like I said before, it's the name that will actually get my attention if you're trying to get me to listen to you out in meet space as well as online. So my real name is Bliss. My legal name is something else, but my real name is Bliss. Adam Banig asks, am I a sexy beast? Yes, Adam. Yes, you are. Rebecca Blaine asks, if you could be a character in a fantasy book, what sort of character would you be and why? This character need not be human. I'm a little biased because I'm actually writing something along these lines today with someone else. I would absolutely be a fairy princess, and I'm not talking like the fluffy pink dress with glittery wings fairy princess, although that's all well and good and folks are into that. But I am talking about the old school Tir na Nog, you know, uh, the bright court and the dark, unseelie court kind of elemental, just rip things out of the earth and change the very essence of something's being kind of power. That kind of fairy princess. That's what kind of character I would be. And let's see, the last question that we have as of me recording this video, McGay Baker asks, what do you consider your life's work? I don't know. I'm not done yet. But ask me when we get to the deathbed, and I'll let you know. That covers all the questions I have so far. There will be other videos to follow as people continue to ask questions. Thank you for joining me in the Room of Requirement, and I'll see you later.